Welcome back, guys. The servers aren't still on for COD. They're still doing maintenance on Battle.net, so I'm not actually able to do anything on Cold War. But I'm just gonna be talking about middle school today. A rant of just when the times I got in trouble in middle school. Middle school wasn't actually that long ago. It was. I'm in ninth grade, so it was legit like a year ago. It was about like a year ago, I would say. But middle school was really not the best years for me. I didn't really like middle school. Fucking people talking shit and whatnot. Middle school was just something else. I didn't like it. Sixth grade year, I wasn't that type of kid to have like this philosophy or whatever and like talk shit against teachers. I'm not gonna say that I wasn't a super well behaved kid, but I was somewhat behaved. There was this one science teacher that I hated with all my guts. She was just really annoying because for some reason she would come after me out of everyone in the class, and it was really annoying. And she wasn't old or anything. She was still young. She was like in her late 20s, early 30s. Don't know what exactly age she was, but she wasn't that old. I'm not gonna say her name or anything like that because there's no reason for me to do it. But she was so annoying, on God. One time I was doing this one lab where I think we're doing something with fire or like gas, I don't know. And we're making marshmallows and whatnot, yada yada yada. And I had cologne in my bag because we were actually getting our lockers that day for PE. And so I sprayed some on my friend's leg, thought it was funny, and I thought that would be it. He thought it was funny too. But then she's like, "Hey, you." I'm like, "Oh shit." And then so she does that little finger thing where she has one of her fingers out and is like pushing it toward her, and she's like, "Come here." I'm like, "Oh no." And then she pulls out this one yellow slip. And in my school, shut up Lester, in my school, yellow slips were trash pickup. And you guys don't know what trash pickup is. Basically, it would go at lunch and give the slip to the counselors or the principal, whoever was there at the table for trash pickup at lunch, and they would give you a trash bag once you give them the slip. And from then on, during lunch, you would only pick up trash and that's it. And you couldn't go anywhere else. And even if you were done picking up trash, you would have to sit at the table. Obviously, you were able to go get your lunch before you went to trash pickup. You were able to eat it before trash pickup actually started, but then you would actually have to go to the table and then go pick up trash. And it was so boring. I cannot tell you how boring it was. Like legit, all you did was just pick up trash. And sometimes your friends made fun of you. Well, my friends didn't make fun of me, but honestly, I made the best out of it. And I kind of sorry, I'm tired, but I made the best out of it. And had my friends joke around, mess around. They would sometimes throw trash on the floor so that I would pick it up. They would be like, "Hey, pick it up." And it was kind of funny. But either way, besides that, this girl, she was annoying. And then she told me to stay after class. And after class, she had said, "Do you know we're doing experiments with food and fire? Please don't do that again, okay? It's so inappropriate, and there's a time and place to do it. But right now in class, it's not the time to do it." I obviously understand, but she made it sound like I was throwing like the fire at people, or messing around with the candle. Something could have got caught on fire, but she made it sound more threatening. And I was like, I'm obviously I made it more sound more soft than what she did, but she made it sound like she was gonna do some shit, which I took it personal. But I didn't I didn't go crazy or shout at her. But I just I took the slip, was annoyed, and that was it. What I thought it was it. Next time I would have her would be in our electives. Ooh, I'm cold right now. Her elective was health. I think it was like a 3-week thing. It wasn't a 1 month or a 1 semester thing compared to in high school where you have to take health for 1 semester. I had her for health, and it wasn't like science. She actually taught us a bit about mental health and whatnot. I didn't give a fuck. So there was this one day, I think it was the day before spring break or winter break. I honestly forgot because it was a long time ago. I think it was 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, I believe. I forgot. So basically, I was in this group with some of my friends. Well, this one person I didn't know, but it was just me and some of my friends. We were kind of just bored, and then she was like, "Hey, do you guys want to play some games?" And we were like, yeah, let's play some games, because we were just bored as hell. We had nothing else to do except for just sit there and just talk. So we brought out Jenga, and there's one other game. It was this I guess heads up game. I don't know what it was, but you were basically supposed to draw with I think it was drunk goggles. I don't know, but you were supposed to draw something, and people were supposed, and the other players were actually supposed to guess it out. And so, anyways, I guess we were having too much fun, quote unquote, what she said. So we're messing around with the Jenga, and the other game, don't know what it was, and she has the audacity to say, "Come here." Why me? There's 3 to 4 other people that's over there, and she out of all those people, she picks me. What the fuck? And then she's like, "Come here." I'm just like, "Oh, okay." You know, I didn't think anything of it at first, but then as soon as I got there, she was like, "Are you guys being appropriate with the games? And if I were to come over there, will there be anything appropriate on the boards?" And I'm just like, "What? Why would I do that? Why would any of us would do that? Like, you know, we're just 6th graders. Obviously, you know, we fuck around. We, like, you know, do a lot of dumb things and stuff like that. But why would we draw, like, you know, like a dick on the board? Tell me, why would we jeopardize our reputation to her and then, you know, get trash pickup?" Obviously, you know, we weren't doing anything like that. But she was like, "Please make sure you guys are being appropriate with the games." She told me, and not everyone else. And I'm just like, why not everyone else? They're having quote unquote too much fun, but I was apparently having way too much fun. And then she was like, "Make sure you guys aren't being inappropriate, okay? That's all I want, okay?" And I'm just like, "Oh, okay. I mean, I guess. I don't care." And then I thought that was it, but I was wrong again. And so then, you know, 10 to 15 minutes passed, you know, we were still having quote unquote fun, and we weren't doing anything bad, you know, we were just playing around, messing around, you know. And then she has the audacity to come over. She comes over to the cabinet where it has the games, and she goes through it, and I'm just like, "Oh, okay, she's grabbing a game for someone, or she just wants to play something, I don't know." And she goes through the cabinet, and for 5 straight minutes, she's looking for a game, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" It doesn't take 5 minutes to grab a game, and there's like only like what 10 games in there. So unless you're trying to grab something that's like in the back of the cabinet, I understand, but it shouldn't be that hard to grab something from the back of that cabinet. That cabinet was not like, you know, 10 feet deep. And so, you know, she's like, you know, messing around with the cabinet, whatever and whatnot. Unless she was trying to organize it, I understand, but you know, it looked pretty organized to me. She's just standing right there just messing around, and she's more of just trying to listen, and I'm just like, what is she doing? And then I just realized she's like, "This motherfucker." And then she's trying to listen on us, basically. She's trying to listen on like what we're doing and like, you know, what we're trying to and what we're saying. This motherfucker. And you know, she doesn't even pick out a game from the board. This got me super heated that day, honestly. She doesn't even take anything out of it. She just messes it around, you know, moves her hands like she's moving something, and she doesn't do anything. And then she like kind of looks at us when we're not looking at her. She kind of like, I see her in the corner of my eye just looking at us when we weren't looking at her. And I'm just like, what the fuck is she doing? She's like, this creep is just looking at us, playing, having fun with Jenga and this other game that I don't know of. And then so like that kind of got me heated. As I said, it was weird. After like 5 minutes of just roaming around in that cabinet, whatever, she goes back to her chair, and you know, and that was it. But that really got me heated that day, where she came and, you know, tried to listen to us. Like, she didn't trust us, and that was really annoying. But you know, I forgot about it because, you know, I wouldn't have her again. So then I would trade off from science to history. The reason being because I had 2 classes for language, because I was a dumbass in language, simple as that. So I had two language art classes, and so I would switch off for science. I would trade off for history, and I didn't like my history teacher either. She was a bitch. And obviously, I'm not gonna say any of their names because, you know, they probably may see this one day and do some shit which would be not good, which wouldn't be good for me. I didn't like her either. The history teacher wasn't good. I mean, obviously, she was more lenient, but I didn't like her. Sometimes she would be nice, but sometimes she would be a fucking bitch. I didn't like her. Some days I would hate her. Actually, I take that back. Some days I would hate her. Sometimes I would like her. I don't know. It just depended. It just kind of depended what she did that day. Anyways, my math teacher, I didn't like either. I don't know, for some reason there was this other guy. He was substituting. I guess he was like, I don't know how to explain it, but I guess he basically was like in college still, or I think he was studying to be a teacher, and so then he took on some of my math teacher's part, and so he was with us for like the first semester, and then for the second semester she taught us, and for the third semester she taught us too. I honestly liked the first guy. He was really good. He was a nice. I didn't like my other teacher, my actual math teacher. The substitute was actually good. I actually liked him. Obviously, you know, I wish I would have had him for the rest of the year, but you know, it was kind of sad that he left because he was way more lenient than her. He was actually funny and fun. He looked more of like type of a Hawaiian guy. Not saying, you know, that's bad or anything, but I like those type of people, you know what I mean? But yeah, he was really nice. I liked him a lot. He actually taught math, and we understood the math, unlike the fucking bitch that taught us. Back to my math teacher, my original math teacher. Once the substitute was gone, we had her. I hated her, man, honestly. At first, you know, my first impressions on her, she was nice. You know, I didn't dig too much of her. I thought it was like, like, I thought this was gonna be, you know, a regular class, you know, nothing special. I was wrong about it. I was 100%, 1,000,000% wrong about that. I didn't know, you know, she was gonna be like this. I hated her. This one time I actually I think this was like second semester, also during the time when I had my history class. I don't know, I forgot. So basically we were doing study guides on one of our tests that we were gonna have before we went on spring break. It wasn't that hard of a test, but you know, you have to study or else then you're gonna get like a bad grade on it. So you know, I studied, and they had this thing called AR math, which I hated the fuck out of. Honestly, I mean, I didn't give a fuck about it, to be honest. I would get 0%, sometimes I would get like 3%, whatever. I didn't give a fuck, but that was like a good amount of our grade, which I barely realized like halfway through the year. I was like, oh shit. And then I even had a parent teacher conference. But anyways, back to when I got in trouble. I got in trouble for laughing, which was bullshit. Honestly, bullshit. Like, this teacher, I didn't like her. So basically, you know, as I said before, we were going over study guides, you know, doing, you know, we were doing a quiz, basically, you know, what may be on the test and what may be not. We were doing the study guide, and so then, you know, we were just chilling, and this class was super quiet too, so you were able to hear everything in the class. You were able to hear everything in the class. You were able to hear, you know, if anyone was on their phone, if anybody wasn't listening to music, anything like that. So yeah, it was really quiet. And so, you know, I was at this table with this other kid. I honestly forgot who he was. I think his name was Fernando. I don't know. So that table was full of friends of mine, and they were pretty cool, honestly. They weren't like dickheads or anything like that. I liked them. When we were doing the study guide, the teacher had coughed, and so whatever reason, one of my friends had said bless you. For whatever fucking reason, I laughed. You know, I giggled at it. You know what I mean? I thought it was funny for some reason. It wasn't that funny. What made it even more funnier was that the other friend, Fernando, had laughed at it too. And I was like, oh shit. Like, you know, we both found it funny, you know what I mean? Our sense of humor was not that funny, honestly. But anyways, we laughed at it, you know, and I thought that was it. And as always, I was wrong. And so then, you know, we laughed at it, and then I don't know, for some reason I thought about it again. For some reason, you know, I thought it was funny again. But the thing is, it wasn't that funny to the point, you know, we're gonna go full on laughing. It was funny in the sense that, like, Fernando was laughing, so it made it even more funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, a joke isn't that funny, but then once your friend starts laughing at it, it makes it even more funny. And so then, you know, we were giggling and laughing, and then so it came to a point where my math teacher was like, what's going on? We were like, oh shit, you know, we stopped giggling, you know, stopped laughing. We thought about it again, and then we started laughing about it. And then she goes like, what's going on? And then we started laughing. And this happened like 3 times, and then until the point where, like, it was about the end of class, we were kind of like, you know, we were like at the breaking point. We were like about to like go full on laughing fucking hysterically, but for somehow we restrained ourselves, and so we were able to, like, you know, not laugh. But then we didn't notice her, but she was actually walking up to our table, and so then we were like, we had our heads down, you know, giggling, you know, covering our mouths, trying to, like, you know, not let out a giggle. And so then she was like, what's going on here? What's so funny? And I'm just like, nothing. At that point, the whole class looks at us, and then it was kind of like weird because they were just looking at us. I'm just like, what the fuck you guys looking at? Do your fucking study guide, bitch. She was like, say after class, you and you. And she pointed at me and Fernando. What the fuck? We didn't do shit. We were just laughing. That's what I didn't say that out loud, but I thought about it in my head. I was like, what the fuck? And then so we stayed after class. You know, everyone had left. It had been like 10 minutes after class, and then she was like, I had enough of your behavior. You are disruptive in the class, both of you. And I was just like, what the fuck? We didn't do shit. What do you mean disruptive? And if anything, she was disruptive because she had shouted out, stop laughing, or what's so funny? Like, what the fuck? I didn't understand, you know, what was the big deal of us laughing, you know. And we actually got in trouble for laughing, which I thought was bullshit, honestly. And she took it to the extreme to give me another trash pickup and to give one of my friends a trash pickup. And he had trash pickup before, but you know, he thought that was bullshit too. And then she's like, you guys are disruptive and you guys ruin the focus of other students, and that's not acceptable. That is not appropriate behavior. Who the fuck was I disrupting? Was I disrupting you from doing nothing at the table? Were you that bored to come over and tell us that we were disruptive? Like, did you want to hand out a trash pickup? And then honestly, I was annoyed. I was still laughing that she didn't notice, but I was just too caught up in laughing that I didn't care at that point. But you know, after, you know, once I was sitting at the table for trash pickup, I was like, damn. But then, you know, she was like, so here you go, you guys will be having trash pickup on Wednesday. And it was Monday, so I was like, whatever, it's Wednesday, as long as it wasn't Friday. I mean, I was happy. And so then, you know, she's assigning us the tickets, and this dumbass Fernando decides to laugh. He couldn't hold it anymore, so he decides to laugh. He's like, haha. And I'm just like, what what the fuck are you doing? This dumbass car. And then I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, and then she's like, yeah, keep laughing, because you're gonna get more trash pickup. And then he assigns my friend Fernando more trash pickup. Another day of trash pickup, which was on Thursday. I'm just like, this man. Luckily I didn't laugh, so then I would get another day of trash pickup. But man, Fernando slipped up. And so then, you know, I only had 1 day of trash pickup. He had 2 days of trash pickup. And then on top of that, she made us get the iPads that, you know, the other kids were working on once they were done with the study guide, and take them back to the room that she borrowed them from. I'm like, why the fuck do we have to do that? Why can't you do that, bitch? And so then I didn't ask her anything, you know. I was like, whatever. I mean, might as well take them. What the fuck is the harm in doing that? I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, and at this point, it was like 25 minutes after class. I was like, oh my god, I have to get back home. You know, I want to go, you know, play fucking BO3, you know, and grind for more dark matter. Because at that point, I was grinding out dark matter. I was like, whatever. And then, you know, we put in the iPads. That shit was kind of annoying because it was like 50 iPads, and I was like, what the fuck? Why was there so many of them? And there was like only like 30 kids in our class, but then like half of them were charged, so that's why we had to like take 50 iPads. And on top of that, we had to take in the class that had their iPads and plug them in. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, why do we have to do that? Why can't their lazy asses get up and plug them in? But yeah, and then I had trash pickup on Wednesday, and yeah, that was it basically. I mean, that's basically it. I really have no other stories. From then on, I didn't really have any problems in middle school with any teachers or anything like that. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about middle school. I mean, I did kind of struggle, but that's basically it. Hopefully by later today, the maintenance should be done with Battle.net and Cold War. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.